Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Winner's Circle. I'm Derrick.
And I'm Cody.
And we are going to be, listening to the 11th evicted house guest in a couple minutes, Tiffany, for all of you who do not know. We had a double eviction this week, really crazy episode, and unfortunately, we lost Tiffany. By far one of the best strategists in the house, if not the best. Actually, yeah. I think it's fair to say the best.
Arguably, easily.
The best strategist. And, this is Big Brother in a nutshell. So anything you want to add before we dive into anything you want to discuss? I know we were talking a little bit off before we start recording.
Two things. One, I wish we were able to interview Tiffany live. Would definitely be one that I would love to try to get, interact with. Because one, I think her personality is awesome. And two, I think it would just give her a chance to kind of dive into a little bit more. Obviously, we can't do that right now. We don't have that special treatment. And the other thing was, I don't know if you noticed this, because we got two back to back. We got Tiffany, we got Hannah. Tiffany's made me feel some type of way because she's obviously this Tiffany that you guys are going to see in this video is not the same lively Tiffany. Obviously, she got evicted, but she's just somebody that single mother, somebody that I would have loved to see. One, being a great game player, walk away with the money. Not saying anybody deserves the money over anybody else, but you could just tell in this interview, she's kind of just I can't believe I didn't win this money or I didn't win this game. It just meant a lot to her. And it sucks for, someone like Tiffany who was so involved in so much of this game, the strategy, implementing the strategy. And so those are just the two takeaways. So much respect for Tiffany. What an incredible player. And I honestly hope she gets a second opportunity.
That's you just took the words out of my mouth. I am very confident in saying she will be back.
Yeah, I hope so.
She will be back. She's a polarizing player. I mean, listen, take away the fact that she's an amazing strategist. Mm-hmm. What did you and I say all season? She was narrating the whole show.
Yeah.
Her DRs were 90% of the show.
Right.
Even stuff that didn't involve her, she was the one narrating it. If she had any involvement with it at all, even just in the room, mm-hmm. they were letting her narrate it mm-hmm. because she's by far the best DR as well. So yeah, she's got all the attributes you need to be a good Big Brother player, and then also a good house guest for the show. Mm-hmm. So she'll be back if she wants to come back.
If she does, yeah.
If she wants to come back,
well, she's a super fan. So
yes,
it's just tough. Obviously, as a mother, her son isn't young. He's 14, I think it is, 13 or 14. So I think he turned 14 while she was in the house. But all right, so this is the intro. We do this every week, guys. This is when Tiffany finds out, hey, you're interviewing with the Winner's Circle, Derrick and Cody.
Shout out to Derrick and Cody, my favorite duo. Thanks for having some questions for me.
Yeah, we'll kind of roll. Let me queue up the next question. We'll roll right into it so we can get to Tiffany. But it's again just another one where I wish Tiffany. There was so many ways, and she hits the nail on the head with her answers.
Yeah,
she's
great.
She hits it. You know what I mean?
She's so self-aware.
Yep.
And she's been again, we always talk about it. Another person who was very complimentary of you and I. Mm-hmm. It doesn't go unnoticed for us because we're fans of you too, Tiffany.
Yes.
So the feeling is mutual. We appreciate the love and support, but at the end of the day, we consider you on the same level as us. You just didn't have that second. Well, you had the Cookout, but you didn't have that second player that was within the Cookout where you guys could have ran the house together.
And that's the other thing is that what a lot of people need to really understand and take away from this season is the Cookout was playing for something very different. Tiffany was juggling something different than just the game of Big Brother. And ultimately it was to her demise, because I got to tell you, if Tiffany, and kudos to Tiffany for seeing, and you see these in her answers, you saw her with her answers with Tiffany. She saw, I honestly feel like this may be affecting my game, but I'm sticking to it. And it did. And it caused her to go home because she had a lot of people outside of the Cookout. Whereas people within the Cookout didn't really have as many people behind them as Tiffany did. Just straight up, they didn't. And that's why, she played this game for a bigger cause. And it's unfortunate. It was kind of to her demise. So question number one is, we mixed it up a little bit this week, guys. We didn't put all the 5 questions in that we normally do. We took a fan question. And the first question is similar to previous weeks. Now that you have played the game, what advice would you give to a house guest about to enter the Big Brother house?
My advice to any future house guest getting ready to enter the Big Brother house would be to listen more and speak less. information is key in the Big Brother house. So giving your information away can hurt your game, but getting the information, as much information from everyone else, could be a benefit if you know how to use it.
Yeah. I'll let you take it away.
It was great advice. You know, and other house guests have said it as well. Listening is the key to this game, because obviously if you're constantly speaking, you're not absorbing information that can be used later to assist you. So, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory. She said it best. There's not too much to dive into here. Mm-hmm. When you go into that house, you got to be observant. You got to be aware. Situational awareness is huge. And obviously collecting data and processing that data so that you can use it to implement a strategy is key. And, you know, I will say this, she's saying that that's, you know, future advice for house guests. She did do that. She did a lot of talking too, but she did have a lot of conversations where she absorbed data and was able to develop a strategy that was not only used by her, but used by the Cookout, you know, with the duo. So she's one of these people where she's saying it, but she also kind of practiced what she preached. So that's good, because I don't think she regrets her style of play, because it got her pretty far in the game.
No, I think, you know, I think the reason why she took that and this is her answer is because she realizes, okay, when she's somebody that I could very well see like calculating that almost immediately as she walked out of the house, was like, what did I do wrong? And was kind of running through her head and be like, where did I go wrong? This was what I was saying all season long, is something that she was doing. And she was talking a lot, and we were saying it. She was kind of like telling everybody what they needed to be doing, how they needed to play out a week, how the week needed to go. And once it catches up to you, it could cause you to go home. And I think if she plays this game again, I mean, she takes that part out of her game. Like even within it would be more of like, I mean, people would literally be firing all over the place while Tiffany is being the strategic person, manipulating situations kind of from behind the scenes. You know, because I feel like she does have that strategy. She just got caught and got comfortable. I was saying this in the episodes. Once you get comfortable telling people kind of what they should be doing, or you feel like you're the person that needs to tell people, it's hard.
Take on that role.
Yeah, it's hard to turn it off, right? And I think that's where she kind of fell into just constantly doing it, and it hurt her. I wouldn't say a lot. She definitely could have adjusted, but then with that HOH that she won, it kind of made a lot of other things.
Brought up a lot of old feelings, a lot of suspicions. Yeah, she addresses it later in this interview. You guys will see it. She's very self-aware of her downfall in this game. But right into the next question, because that's I think it's a third or fourth question. Yeah. The next question we ask her, which we ask everybody, is and this is always very enlightening, especially with these jury members, and that is, who do you think's in the best position in the house currently, and who would you like to see evicted next? And what we're really asking, again, I say it all the time, is who are you going to vote for? And who are you not going to vote for? And to their credit, none of them have really taken the bait completely. None of them. But she does answer the question in a way where you might be able to tell who she wouldn't vote for or what game she doesn't respect. So let's get into it.
I have thought that Xavier was best positioned in this house probably since week 3. Xavier has been playing a very great social game, even though he doesn't say a lot. Everyone respects him. Xavier is definitely the best positioned in this house. Following me out, I don't want to see anyone follow me out. I genuinely love everyone in the Cookout, but I think that people are going to just pull Derrick F along through this game to use him as someone to sit next to that they think they can just beat in the final 2. So I'd like to see him out just because he's helping everyone else's game, but I don't know if he's helping his own.
I mean, well said.
Respectfully, you know what I mean? Like she essentially was. I want to read between the lines, but in what I think she's saying there is like, you know, Derrick F is kind of just there, and everybody else in there is playing the game, and you know, I guess that just shows right there. Hey, if X is sitting next to DF, you know where my vote's going. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, no, it's no doubt. She's saying if Xavier's up there against anybody, unless there's a big change of events in the last couple weeks, I'm voting for X above anybody. Yep. And regardless of who's sitting next to Derrick F, I'm voting for them because Derrick F doesn't deserve it. And I will hit on this quick. This isn't usually the episodes we do it, but I think it's important because we did our recap episode. Yep. But in last night's episode, we got some clarification, and I was wrong because Xavier told the DR 100% that he is honoring the final 2 with Derrick F.
Yeah.
That is his. Yep. That's his goal. He said, "Listen, I am going to cut Kyland. I got to make him look, but we're either cutting him this week or next week because we actually got the dates wrong. We didn't know there was going to be a Friday episode. Yeah. There was, and I was shocked to hear Xavier come right out overtly and say, I'm honoring that final 2 with Derrick F because I made it on day 1. Yeah. Now, that being said, he's probably trying to play to us a little bit like, oh, I'm only taking Derrick F because I'm a man of my word. But really, he's taking Derrick F because he knows he's got the W. I mean, we're not stupid.
Right, yeah. So there's stuff that happens in the DR where they're almost like, he doesn't want to disrespect Derrick F because he knows his family and friends are watching. He doesn't want to do that on national television. So he's taking the PC answer and saying, I had
a final 2.
Because I got to honor it.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's the same thing. Again, I always find a way to go back to 16. It's the only season I played. Don't come for me.
Yeah.
But Donnie, when he voted for you, I didn't mind him voting for you, but he said, I told Cody if he got to the end, like in week 2 in the house, that if he got to the end, I'd vote for him. Mm-hmm. He also didn't want to vote for me.
Yeah, he did. He told me right off the rip, he's like, I like you as a person. And you know what? If someone like you is in the end, that's the kind of person I want to vote for. I was like, hi, I'm Cody. What was your No, but it was I love Donnie. I'm trying to be facetious. I'm trying to be funny. Donnie was I love Donnie.
Donnie, like I said, Donnie and I are good friends now, but I said this to Donnie. He would have voted for the friggin' wall over me.
Hey, bro, don't discredit some of my votes.
Hey, he did not like me.
You got Christine's vote, okay? Just be happy.
Well, that's because she got booed. USA gave me that one, but I'm saying no matter who was sitting next to me, I wasn't getting his vote, and I wasn't getting Jacosta's.
Yeah, well,
and so
let's not.
It was a different thing, different day. But my point is to bring it back to this. She is voting for anybody but Derrick F. Mm-hmm. That's what I took from it.
Yeah,
there's no world where Tiffany, who is going to decide who wins this game because she's going to be super influential in that jury house.
She just took it. Yep.
And she's gonna make nobody is gonna vote for Derrick F if he's sitting there. So based on last night's episode, if Xavier is able to do what he wants to do, he's winning this game because he's gonna bring Derrick F and he's gonna win unanimously.
So what I also think is Tiffany is somebody that you need on your side in the jury house, and Xavier's got her on his side, and I think it's going to cause it not really to matter who he sits next to. If he's there, Tiffany is going to be gassing up a lot of what he meant to the game, what he meant to their alliance, how he's playing. And when that is happening and other people don't really have strong, points to cater to it, Tiffany is going to be gassing up Xavier, and that's going to help him drastically. And quite frankly, I don't think it's going to matter because then on the flip side, I think also Hannah is going to, and Hannah articulates everything very, very well and is very intelligent. And so I don't want to call it early, but Xavier is going to get a very important voice in the jury house, and that voice is Tiffany's.
Correct. Couldn't agree more.
That is Tiffany's. Really quickly, let me just fast forward this. The next question is from Oh No.
You said you love this question.
Oh No, it's Fonzo. And he asked, what part of your game did you find the hardest to keep up with and which came the most natural? And I like that question because it just, gives a little bit of insight into what part of your game did you come in and kind of like what part of yourself helped you thrive in the Big Brother game and which part of yourself were you like battling the whole time that you needed to like kind of keep at bay? And that's a really important question to ask because you did it. In Big Brother, you needed to keep that like detective and that whole side of you like kind of under wraps and make it seem like genuine and natural when every conversation you were having was like a lie detector.
Yep.
And so there's people that have different attributes when they go into the house. And that's why I love that question. Oh no, it's Fonzo. I thought it was a great question, which is why it's in here.
Honestly, wait till you guys hear this answer. Yeah. The self-awareness this short after getting out of the house is incredible. Mm-hmm. But yeah, she's spot on when she answers it.
The hardest part of my game to keep up with was keeping my emotions in check when I was frustrated, and making up when I was frustrated. In the real world, it's easy to just go about your day when you disagree with someone or you don't want to deal with something. But in the house, it's still in your face. So having to get my emotions in check and make up with people, because these could potentially be people who want to target me based on my emotions and how I have handled myself with them. And the easiest part for me in there was just being my natural self. I was always me. I don't think I held anything back. I never wanted to be mischaracterized, but I was true to who I was. So just being myself was the easiest part for me, but keeping my emotions in check and not letting things get to me was definitely the most challenging.
I mean, spot on. I think that's a great insight. We've talked about it. We would say it when, did that thing with Kylan happen. And honestly, she walked in and probably just wanted to be by herself for a little bit, which is why we saw that conversation. We're talking about what I'm referring to is very early on in the season when Tiffany walked in the back. It was Kylan, SB, and Xavier. She said good morning, didn't feel like she got the love back of like any responses, and she got really frustrated and walked into the back room. What I'm getting from this is Tiffany is the kind of person that when something happens, she kind of just wants her space. She wants her space. She wants a second to like kind of dial it down and like relax and reflect on it. And what you don't have in the Big Brother house is just that, because then you're sitting there and you're like, uh-oh, emotions and thoughts start festering of, oh, man, I have to go have this conversation and I don't really feel like having it, but I don't want to become a target. I don't want them to target me in any type of way. I don't want them to view me any type of way, which could turn into a target down the road. And that is a huge, huge part of the Big Brother game. And it's frustrating and it could be tough because that could affect just her like being in the house, because she's like, oh, man, if you have to do that on a daily basis, it is exhausting.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we said it. I hate to be like, oh, we called it, but like we did.
Mm-hmm.
We called it when it happened. These little, and the fact that she already knows this without even having to watch the show back just goes to show you how good of a player she is. But, for every reason you just said, for what she just said, there's not much to say. It's pretty self-explanatory. Those little minor mistakes, that's all. When it gets down to the final 6, final 5, people are looking for the minor things, because at that point, if you're in the final 5, final 6, either you're a floater and you haven't made any waves, or you're a very good player and you've been strategic. And now when it gets to the point where you're trying to decide to go to the end with, it's the little things. It's the little mistakes that start to come to the surface, because there are no major mistakes by the remaining house guests because they're all really good players. So to what Tiffany just said, not being able to keep those emotions in check and to have cracks in her game where people realized she was upset with them, it creates doubt in their mind that she would be loyal to them, and therefore they decide they have to cut her before she cuts them. And those are minor mistakes. And in the beginning, where this 15 people in the house, you can get away with it. But like we said, when it happened, when you're in the house, you don't forget, because people might not remember what you said, but they'll remember how you made them feel. And I do think that played into Kylan's decision as far as because Tiffany's a great player. He knows she's a great player, but ultimately he decided to go with Xavier, I think, because he felt like, I never had a run-in with Xavier. Maybe we can be more loyal to each other, where Tiffany, he had doubt. And as you said a couple, even early in this episode, the winning of that HOH competition just kind of reaffirmed what he was already thinking. And I think that was kind of her nail in the coffin. And she said it herself to Julie. Anything else? You want to go right into that last question?
Yeah, last question is the question that we asked.
Expectations question, yeah.
What were you expecting,
Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah. What were your expectations before going into the house? And now that you've played, how have those expectations been met, or were they different?
Wow. I think that I overexceeded my expectations. Going into this house, I wanted to go in. I wanted to win. I did not win, but I still feel like a winner. I had no idea I was going to be able to join with a wonderful group of people. I met wonderful friends. I had no idea that I would be a part of such a tremendous mission to accomplish. And my part in that I played in it was, for me, it's a moment that I am definitely proud of, and I'm honored to be a part of that. So I overexceeded my expectations in this game.
Again, well said. I mean, I'm happy for her if she feels that way, and she should.
Yeah, definitely.
To leave the game again this quickly and already come to that realization that, you didn't win, but she probably, I didn't think I was going to win when I went in there. So she exceeded her expectations as far as how she personally thought she would do. And again, she didn't know coming into the season that she was going to have to, kind of put her personal game on hold for a little bit to accomplish something bigger than her. That wasn't the plan going in there. She might have known, I'm not going to put a person up of color on the block or two people of color on the block, but I don't think she knew exactly the significance of it. And more importantly, the role that she was going to play in it. And essentially, she was the glue that held that alliance together. She was the person who created the strategy to find a partner outside of the alliance to kind of hide the Cookout. If it wasn't for her, I don't think the Cookout gets to the final 6 unscathed. So she not only was a part of something bigger, she was a major component to its success. And she should be proud of that. And again, I do think she'll get another chance back. So this won't be the last time you see Tiffany, in my opinion. I think she's going to be back as soon as they do a returning player season again.
Yeah, I also don't think she realizes quite yet, obviously, because she's not out of the house. She has no touch. She's just doing these questions, which they filter and make sure that nothing is told. I don't think she realizes how much she's viewed as that person that really was the one that was the strategic mind behind making the Cookout move forward, was the one telling the story for everybody that watched the live shows. And she really was that person.
Julie gave her props though.
She did. Yeah. She did. She
gave her a little insight.
She did. And so I
was surprised by that, by the way.
Julie,
she does her own thing.
She's like this. Well, if you guys may, I know my lines are on the TV over there, but if I want to say something, I'm going to say it. And you guys are going to do anything because I'm the host of this show since the beginning.
She almost got carried away. She's like, oh, I think you got to go off stage now because I'm going to keep talking.
Yeah. She was like, everybody was like yelling. They probably, because they were like, they're yelling in her ear. They're probably like, Julie, stop it.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't take it back once you say it.
So, really kudos to Tiffany. I agree with you, and I really hope that she chooses, if she gets that opportunity to go back. She is a great player, deserves all the credit in the world, was very deserving of winning the game. And so I hope she gets another opportunity to play and hopefully have that chance to win because she's a great player. Kudos to Tiffany. Tiffany, you did a great job on this show, and you were very well received on the outside, and I'm sure you'll be seeing that very shortly because you'll be out of there in another week.
Yep, absolutely. And hopefully we get to talk. Hopefully we get to talk to her.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're gonna do as far as after the season because Survivor actually starts this Wednesday.
I know.
So we're gonna be kind of inundated with recording. So we'll see. I mean, we'll have the opportunity probably to interview her because I think at the end of the season they do another round of media. But we'll see how it goes. And either way, again, just to reiterate what Cody said, congratulations to Tiffany, great player. Really did a lot for her family, herself. I'm sure everyone's extremely proud of her and we're proud to have her as part of the BB alum. Anything else to end it?
Nope. That's it, bro. Take us out.
All right. That's it. Guys, we appreciate you joining us here on the Winner's Circle. We will see you next week.